Good morning. I think it's like 4:30, but I've been up since 3. So, um, okay, heartwarming story. Like a mom's heartwarming. Anyway, my son Nick, the one who's getting married this week, my firstborn, so we learned a lot together. In high school. Oh, that kid. He was such a great schmoozer, right? And this is where a little bit of my dad's savagery comes in also. Anyway, Nicholas was in, I believe it was 9th grade, and sometimes he didn't get his assignments in on time, and I ended up like calling teachers and emails and follow-up and everything else. Anyway, even when there was no chance for credit, I still made him do the assignments. But anyway, I got fed up, and the talking and, hey, listen, this is what needs to happen, yada yada. And it wasn't just one moment, and the funny thing is teachers would defend him, like, he'll get it in, Mrs. Jacobs, because I was married to Kevin at the time. Don't you worry about it. And I'm like, what the hell? What? It's the Twilight Zone. Like, they would defend him to me for late assignments. Anyway, he was very charming. He still is, but he was very charming. I ended up putting him on restriction for a whole year, a whole school year. No social activities, nothing. He couldn't do anything. But I was tired of it. And I'm like, there's a lesson to be learned here. Anyway, so he and I were not on the best terms. I was not, let's just say I was not his favorite person, likely his least favorite, even if I made the favorites list. I don't think I did. But that's part of parenting. And like, it was his best friend's 16th birthday, and I drove him to his friend's house to say happy birthday, and then I made him get back in the car and we went home. Like, that's how shitty I was. Well, I won't say shitty, but I guess I'm speaking from a teenager's point of view. I'm sure I was pretty shitty. Anyway, back then Nick was pretty involved in his youth group at the community church. And they went, I said, okay, his dad and I, approved and said, okay, you can go on this mission trip. They went to the Tenderloin in San Francisco. And if any of you know what the Tenderloin district is in San Francisco, it's a very depressed area, a lot of struggle, a lot at that time. I won't pretend to know what it is now, but having grown up in that area and then sending my son there with a bunch of kids to minister and help and assist those that were in a pretty bad way. And there was no contact. We heard from the youth pastors via text one time, like, everybody's good, like, we're safe. And, I wasn't worried about his safety, but, I was kind of worried about what my son was going to be exposed to. But it was real life. And I was exposed to it at a very early age, having grown up in that area and, type of thing. I was very well informed from my own upbringing, what that area was like. Anyway, so he's gone a week, and they come back. You're supposed to meet up at the church because they drove there with trailers of everybody's stuff. And So I went to the church. It was me that was picking him up. And it was late at night. I want to say it was a Sunday night. I think it was on their spring break, if I remember correctly. And so I'm just sitting in the car waiting for everybody to pull up. And so they do. And, and there's a bunch of other parents parked too. And I see Nick, and they open the back of the trailer door, and, he's unloading bags, because they can't just walk away. They have to help, and get everything situated. So he's unloading bags, and I'm standing outside my car, and, there's some parking lot lights, but it's pretty dark out there. And just watching him, and knowing that in my head, I'm thinking, oh, he's gonna be really irritated that it's me picking him up and not his dad. Again, he and I are not in a good place. He doesn't like me very much, and understandably so, but he doesn't like me very much. And he sees me, like we make eye contact, and I just give a quick little wave. I'm not going to interrupt. I know he has to be part of the, break everything down and, all of that and clean up. And this kid sees me and starts a full sprint at me. He jumped bags. He knocked over a garbage can. And he just flew at me into my arms. And he just held on. And just hugged the hell out of me, and I hugged the hell out of him. And I don't think we said anything to each other. I don't think any words were exchanged. And then he went back to what he needed to do to help, break everything down and put things away. But in what was an excruciating time period for him and for me. Like, parents don't want to be the bad guys. We don't want to be the bad guys. However, we're required to be the bad guys in an effort to teach our children. But in that split second, or in that moment, all of that kind of fell by the wayside, and he was just happy to be home and see his mom. And I'm sure a lot of that had to do with what he witnessed while on his trip. And we heard more about it later. But yeah, just a really good, feel-good moment. So, and by the way, my son's a pretty fabulous, amazing man. So, anyway, cute little story. A sweet story. Some love in the midst of consequence, I guess. Have a great day. Much love.